Thank you for watching Vintage Weights PGH. Please support the channel by purchasing apparel through the link in the description or at www.vintageweightspgh.com. Old weights, new gains, and lift history shirts are printed on high-quality next-level t-shirts, and they are available in multiple sizes and color options. Thank you for supporting the channel. Welcome to Vintage Weights PGH. I'm here at Home Gym Con, and I'm probably the only person sitting next to a deep dish plate as if I'm about to interview it. So stick around for this video review of Bells of Steel Deep Dish Iron here on Vintage Weights PGH. Yesterday, when I got to Home Gym Con, I came over here to the Bells of Steel booth and I asked where their deep dish plates were. I've been wondering for a while about the quality of these and how they felt in the hand, how they looked on the bar. And they said, we don't have any. We're all out. Apparently at the Arnold last month, they had a full set of these, and they gave away a full set of these, and they didn't bring any to Home Gym Con. Come on, Bells of Steel. But thankfully, when I happened to go to the other side of the Home Gym Con floor, I found that Adam from Garage Gym Experiment had a pair from the Arnold that he brought home with him and then brought here. So full circle, here we are. I dragged them back over here to this side of the floor, and I'm gonna take a closer look at their quality. First impression as I hold them is a good one because I really like that they have a slightly rounded edge to the lip. Whenever I place my hand around to grasp it, it's not digging into my fingers like some other deep dish that I might have. The inside of the lip is a texture the same as the face. That's nice for gripping it because just the tips of my finger pads will feel that texture. It's not going to slip out of my hands. The back is smooth and I like the look of the font. It's nothing fancy, you know, it's just a typical numbering and lettering scheme, but it's cleanly done. I don't see any flaws, and it's a classic 3-spoke design. The spokes go all the way out to the edge, similar to Rogue's deep dish. And in just a second, I'll get some of my tools and look more specifically at how deep this is. About 2 inches on the dot. So that is a deep, deep dish. York deep dish are 2 inches, and they are the deepest that I have. So that's impressive from Bells of Steel. I'll talk with Adam about this, but I'm not sure about this paint. It looks like he's only had these for about a month, and there's quite a bit of damage to the paint. These are lathed on the back for accuracy, which is impressive. And these are very fine lathing lines, which I always like. I think that's a nice look. And the lathing goes all the way from the center hole to the outside rim, the entire back of the plate. I don't see any machining on the sides of the plate. Take that back. There is some machining to the sides. And as far as the paint, I'll get back to that later once I ask Adam about it, because I don't want to throw Bells of Steel any negativity here. This is one pair of plates from one guy, but that is a bit concerning. When it comes to diameter, these are right on par with a modern plate. They're a little under 17 3/4. On the face of the plate, aesthetically, there's an interesting dynamic where the face of the hub is machined, but then the spokes are the rough feel and look of the face. That rough kind of look is also on the tops of the lettering and numbering, which I don't typically see. It's kind of interesting, kind of different. The plates, in addition to being lathed on the back, they are machined on the sides and, as I said, on the hub. Similar to the back, there's some paint chips to the hub, and I want to see what Adam was doing with these, so let's go to him now. So I'm here with Adam from Garage Gym Experiment. He's been on Home Gym History many times. You've probably seen him and heard him. Great guy, and he is also the reason why I was able to get my hands on one of these, because he dragged a pair here that he got from the Arnold. So I want to come back to these paint issues, because this is one of the most alarming things when I review this plate, is that I see a lot of paint chips for a plate that's only a month old. So what the heck happened, Adam?
All right, fun story. I get these at the Arnold about with 4 other sets of 45s. They get stacked up in the back of my truck. I'm driving back, taking some highway turns. I stop for gas and I open the back door to grab my wallet or something back there, and out come about 3 sets of 45s falling directly onto concrete. Barely missed my toe.
So not typical gym use.
Not typical gym use, and they got a little banged up.
So fair to say that if you were to buy these, Bells of Steel isn't at fault for this. It's more, you know, out of the realm of typical gym use.
My fault.
Yeah. Don't let your plates spill out of your car, and you should be fine with the paint on the Bells of Steel deep dish. Well, hey, thanks, Adam, for letting me use them.
I appreciate it, man, of course.
You saved the day. I was so disappointed Bells didn't bring any. Come on, Bells. Hey, thanks, man.
Cool. Yep.
So this is the benefit of Home Gym Con. I was about to wrap up this video for now, take these home, see how I like them once I lifted with them, but I saw Big Keith here of the No Wine Cellar in the background, and he's no stranger to deep dish plates. How many York deep dish do you have?
Currently 5 pairs, 4 unmarked and 1. I finally found a marked pair this past year, so I'm five. I can't lift 5 plates, so I don't know that I need to find a 6th pair anytime soon.
There's an awesome video of Keith deadlifting 4 pairs of vintage York deep dish, which scares the heck out of me. So go over to his Instagram, check that out. But this Bells of Steel deep dish, Keith, bear in mind, viewers, he's only been handling this for maybe a couple minutes here, taking a look at it. It's not like he's done a deep study, but what's your first impression compared to the York deep dish that you do use quite often?
I would say it looks like it's just machined better than like something that was made in the 50s and 60s and into the early 70s, I believe. But just the backs clearly, but more of the center, everything molded on the inside. The lines are super clean. There's no big goobers. Like every deep dish has like this big, almost spot welded looking piece, and everything's more like, the lips are always more beveled and almost like a 45-degree angle, whereas all the like it almost looks like someone like MIG welded it or TIG welded it. It's just like all the molds are super clean. If you were going to use it for grip, I'm not a hub lifter, but if you were, it almost seems like they might get in the way a lot more than the ridges of the center spokes look a lot higher. I don't know if there's an advantage to that or a negative.
You bring up a good point. I hadn't talked about hub lifting, but this kind of
the texture would probably be, it's almost like a rhino liner.
Help a little bit, yeah, in terms of hub lifting. It might even hold chalk.
That would be hard to be consistent plate to plate too, because who knows if this textured plate might be significantly more or less textured than the other, so someone can be like, oh, I can lift this with a bunch of other weights inside, whereas someone with a glossy plate is just going to slip right out of their hands no matter how much chalk.
That's true.
But overall, if it's comparable to Rogue in prices for new plates, you could probably, there's worse plates you could buy today on the market. All the molds of the 45 and it was actually really clean cut, where a lot of plates you see, it's just sloppy looking. So I think for being a North American made product, you can't go wrong with it.
Well, as far as that's concerned, Keith and I were talking before we turned on the camera about where this is made. I'm going to ask more specifically, Bells of Steel, the representatives are here to try to find out exactly where the foundry is that these are made. On their website, it's a little mysterious, to put it that way. So we'll get into that more in just a minute. But hey, Keith, thanks for coming on. I appreciate it.
No worries.
Here at Home Gym Con, that's the benefit of Home Gym Con. You get to meet the people that you interact with online. So check out Keith, the No Wine Cellar, on Instagram.
If you missed Home Gym Con 2023, make sure you come out to 2024, because it's going to be an ongoing event, I'm sure.
Absolutely. So I had a lot of questions with the Bells of Steel deep dish. Something about the coating on them was chipping off. Something about, the machining, where were they made? And thankfully, Andrew here has the answers to just about all my questions. So
we're glad I could help.
Yeah.
I have limited time with them.
Yeah.
But I know all the back end stuff of them pretty well.
So where are they made, first of all?
Currently, our first run was made in Vietnam.
Okay. But you say first run because you'll be switching that soon?
I believe we're going to switch all of our manufacturing plates over.
Okay.
The Vietnam manufacturer we have has changed coating and has improved on some stuff. So I'm sure we'll still do some stuff with them. But our main manufacturer in China, I believe we're going to probably go deep dish that way.
Now, I noticed on one of Adam's plates there was some casting flaws that then were ground down, but the touch-up paint doesn't really match perfectly. Plus, on the face of the plate, it stands out a lot because you have a coarse kind of texture, if you will, to the face. So since a part is ground down, it really stands out. Is that a common issue you've been having with them in terms of casting flaws, things like that?
So in this production run, it was our first production run, and we found mainly on the 45s.
Okay.
There was a big issue where they coated it, and set it in a facility that was not, you know, conducive to the weather.
Yeah.
And we caught it early in
Yeah.
QC saying these have issues in them.
Yeah.
And we have no problems stating that they have issues in them. When they
Yeah,
come
yeah.
in, we're going to sell them at a discounted rate, or on the website we'll show that
Yeah.
they have blemishes.
Sure.
So basically what happened was they coated them, it wasn't thick enough, put it in an environment that wasn't conducive,
Yeah.
caught the mistake, and they tried their best to clean it up.
Yeah.
Not the best looking on some of them.
Yeah.
A lot of them came in that, but there's also some runs that came in really nice.
Yeah, sure.
Some of them came out really nice, some of them didn't, and we've done that before on first run stuff. That's kind of what you get on some of the
But
first
looking
runs.
to switch who
Yep.
manufactures them, I'm sure that's
We'll have
one of
one.
the things you're hoping is a more consistent run with the
That-
next run.
Yeah, that too. And if we do decide to continue with that manufacturer, we now know that that's probably might be an issue.
Yeah.
So we need to have our QC a lot sooner.
Makes
So
sense.
that's
Makes
something
sense.
we look into on first runs.
So then, with them, they were machined, lathed on the back. With the design, I really liked that textured kind of look. I thought it was cool that even the lettering and numbering was textured, because I don't see that often on a plate.
Yeah.
That was a little unique. But overall, pretty simple design for this first run. It's just bells of steel with kilograms and pounds. You don't need to reveal anything, but is it safe to say that a new run might be a little more involved design?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of our bumpers too, we kind of went with that very simple bells of steel. This run was on the blander side just
Yeah.
because it was a first attempt.
Sure.
You don't want to spend a ton of money in engineering and stuff if you don't know they're going to come in correctly.
Yeah, yeah.
So I know on a lot of our newer plates, we are going to spice up some designs with our Manicore line and our Hydra line. So be looking for that stuff.
Very cool.
But yeah, first run, we just went super bland
Yeah.
to just check them out, see if it's a
Well,
good product.
You know, collecting vintage weights like I do, I can tell you this much, that although right now you're looking ahead into the future as far as, you know, the next line, things like that,
Yeah.
I guarantee you there will be some guys like me that want a first run
Yeah.
of these plates.
Yeah.
So I'm going to be trying to get myself a pair of the first run before the second run come out.
Exactly. Yeah, we can definitely,
Casting flaws or not, I want the first run, and then maybe I'll also pick up the second run.
we can definitely get you a pair of those.
Yeah.
We have no problem sending you some stuff. The cool,
So-
the thing about those productions too is they'll
Yeah.
send you get sent samples months
Sure.
and months ahead, and that quality sometimes, or you'll communicate and say change this or that,
Hmm.
and sometimes the communication doesn't go through, and it comes out different. So
Yeah.
even though you're sent sometimes perfect examples,
Yeah.
blemishes happen for sure.
Well, there's little details though with your deep dish that I like. Like I mentioned how the lettering and numbering has the textured
Yeah.
top to it. I don't even know if you meant to do this, but since the face of the hub is machined, but then the spokes aren't, and the spokes have that coarse texture on them, there's a really nice aesthetic appeal to it with the difference of them
Yeah.
that stands out to me. And the biggest thing would be that they're deep dish, and it really sucks to buy deep dish that aren't deep, but your deep dish are. They come in right at 2 inches.
Yep.
And when it comes to vintage deep dish, my York deep dish are the deepest deep dish that I own, and they're right at 2 inches.
Really?
So, I mean, as I compare it to the vintage,
Yeah.
you're right on par with some of the best, man.
Good. Appreciate it.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So, and a 3-spoke is a classic design. You can't go wrong with that.
Yeah.
So, you know, I see a lot of good qualities, even though there were some things that, you know, were bumps in the road.
Yeah.
I see some good qualities to your deep dish design going forward, and I'll definitely be checking out your stuff.
Appreciate it.
So, hey,
Thank you so
thanks a
much.
lot, man.
Appreciate it.